dead.
Hi everyone, this is Murth and welcome to my 2v2 arena video of Protection Warrior playing with a Paladin as a healer. I'd like to quickly show you the type of gear I'm wearing because I think this is very important to know. I wear mostly PvE DPS gear and some PvP gear. I only have about 350 resilience, which is pretty low, and my HP is also on the low side for a warrior. Most PvP prop warrior like to wear tanking gear with a lot of block value, but I prefer wearing DPS gear so I can keep a constant DPS pressure rather than relying on a random big hit from a shield slam. And I've only been playing as Prot in 2v2 for 2 weeks now, so my gameplay is far from perfect. I know every single mistake I did, so trust me, there's really no need to point them out. I made this video since I had a lot of requests from friends and from people who enjoyed my old videos. Well, I'm going to keep talking throughout the entire video so you know what's going on and what it is I'm doing or trying to do. This is a warrior in Resto Shaman 5. This fight is pretty easy as long as I don't get gibbed by the warrior, as he's hitting me pretty dang hard. I would just focus mainly on killing the shaman and try to burst him down with a concussion blow and shockwave stunlock. A good strategy versus the shaman team is to keep switching to whoever doesn't have Earth Shield. I think that's the best way of running the shaman out of mana. So right now I'm stunlocking the warrior and disarming him because I got pretty low. So this warrior is doing a good job with peeling me because the shaman is pretty low on mana, and he managed to get away upstairs to have a drink. Even though this warrior is 50% HP, he still had shield wall left. So I pretty much just leave him there and try to get to the shaman to stop him from drinking. Just switching to whoever doesn't have Earth Shield is pretty important against shaman teams because that's their most efficient heal. So whoever doesn't have Earth Shield, that should be your target really. I did a game in the past where I just tunnel visioned the shaman all day long and they end up out manaing us and we lost because of that. So try to save your concussion blow and shockwave on the shaman and watch your diminishing return. Notice I have a diminishing return tracker on the top right corner there because you want to catch the shaman with a full duration concussion blow followed by a shockwave, and that's really devastating for him. My paladin is playing a Prot healing spec as well, so he pretty much has unlimited mana. It's going to get nerfed next patch. We tried both spec holy and Prot spec paladin, and Prot spec we find that it's only slightly better. Now this is a fight against Arcane-Mage Rogue. I know they're pretty low rated, but I just thought this was a good example on how you should deal with Mage Rogue team when they're focusing on you. So what I did here, I immediately trinket the Kidney Shop and Shockwave and Spell Reflect, and also disarmed the Rogue before he trinkets my Shockwave. I almost died here, I popped last stand just in time. So yeah, just save Shockwave for the Rogue always because Shockwave is a AoE move. It's likely to hit the Rogue even if he has evasion up. With a Shockwave and Concussion Blow combo, Rogue will probably lose about 70% of his HP and they immediately have to play defensive because then my Paladin could finish them off with a Holy Shock and Hammer of Wrath. Overall, this is a really easy team for us. We hardly ever lose to them. if I get blind after trinketing the first kidney shot, Paladin could also bop me to remove the blind. There's another mage rogue team, they're a bit higher rated. In this fight I made the mistake of not saving my shockwave for the rogue, so it kinda made the fight a bit harder. So when this rogue opened up on me with a cheap shot kidney shot, I triggered the kidney shot and immediately concussion blow, and if I'm lucky it won't get dodged, which it didn't in this case. Well, the rogues managed to escape with advantage, and I didn't want to waste time, so I quickly switched to the mage, and notice I reflect deep freeze here, which is pretty good. And again I made the same mistake of not saving my shockwave. I used it on the mage, then the rogue opens up on me with a cheap shot kidney shot with a dismantle, followed by evasion, so I can't concussion blow him. But I used the opportunity to intervene to my paladin and charge back to the rogue so he can't dodge my concussion blow. Still, even with all that mistake, there's not much pressure. I still had last stands and shield wall. It's an easy team to farm. Now this is a warrior holy paladin team. They're pretty low rated. This is the only footage I got for a warrior paladin team. Couldn't find any higher team. But the warrior is still pretty decent. He's able to put up quite a lot of damage and a lot of pressure. My main focus target is their paladin, of course, and I'll assist my paladin if he needs it with an intervene or a disarm or a stun. So this actually may look pretty stupid right now because it doesn't seem like I'm doing much at all to the paladin. But what I'm trying to do here is to catch the paladin with a shield bash, or before using my concussion blow and shockwave, and that's how I burst them down. Or if the paladin for some reason lets himself get to about 50%, I'll use my concussion blow and shockwave, then could probably force a bubble at least. I would normally say invent as well to get my paladin to help me DPS the paladin if I know that I'm gonna be able to catch this paladin at low HP. So I managed to interrupt him for 6 seconds with this flash of light. So I followed that with concussion blow and shockwave, and my paladin is also DPSing him, so he didn't even get the chance to bubble. And that's pretty much how we kill holy paladin teams. I didn't really need to assist my paladin in this fight, the warrior is more focused on me. But normally if the warrior blaze stormed my paladin, I would intervene my paladin to give him the safeguard prot for 30% less damage. Mage priest team, I would say it's an easy team for us. We have a very high win rate against them. There is the odd occurrence where the moon aligned with them and they managed to get a good CC and burst on one of us. At the beginning of the fight I always focus on CCing the mage and just stunning him and interrupting as much cast as I can. This map actually gives them a huge advantage because it's pretty hard for my paladin to line of sight, and they're putting out a ton of pressure on my paladin, so I'm just doing everything I can to try and keep him alive by interrupting as much of the mage damage as I can. So I give intervene to the paladin for the safeguard proc, and I also spam spell reflect pretty much every cooldown. I don't really time it for something special like a sheep or whatever. So it's a bit random. I find it best to just use it on every cooldown rather than saving them. I don't know, maybe it's something I can work on. You can pretty much win the game by tunnel visioning the mage all day long until he's out of mana, and you probably kill the mage because he's just out of mana, he can no longer blink or whatever. But that could take a very long time. I like to switch to the priest once the mage burst is over, he's out of pets, just to make the game shorter. Focusing on the priest will also force the mage to CC me, try and keep this priest alive. Notice he spell reflect the sheep there. Just keep an eye on the mage and switch back to the mage if you think that he's gonna do a good burst or whatever. Don't train the priest all day long and get yourself killed. This priest rogue team is pretty high rated at almost 2400. Our strategy here is pretty simple. Just focus damage and interrupts on the priest. This team in particular, they decided to go after, to focus on my paladin, probably because he's Prot and it'll be a lot easier to kill him with interrupts. If the rogue just focus on you in the entire game, you pretty much just switch between the rogue and the priest. You can burst the rogue down with a good shockwave, a concussion blow combo, and the HOJ on the priest. And if the rogue is staying on you, you can stay in defensive stance, and revenge will keep proccing as well, and you can use that revenge to stun the priest. I intervene my paladin here to give him the safeguard buff, and I also charge and disarm the rogue to assist him. Then I keep my damage focus on the priest. Even though it seems like they're putting a lot of pressure on my paladin, he should be able to survive it. The best thing that I can do is just to keep focusing on the priest and DPS as hard as I can and get that priest down. Eventually he'll be out of cooldown and I'll catch him with a concussion blow and a shockwave combo, which probably kill him. If I stay on the rogue for too long, we will definitely lose, because we just won't be able to put enough DPS pressure as we don't have any mortal strike. The best thing I can do is to just stay on this priest and get him down. I should definitely be able to kill a priest faster than a rogue kill a solo paladin on their own. If I stay on the rogue, the priest will be able to DPS the paladin, and that's really where the damage is. In this fight, since the priest and the rogue are together a lot, I backpedal a bit to shockwave both of them, so my paladin will have a chance to heal and finish off the priest. The blind came in a bit late.
Saw you the other day.
This is a 2 DPS team, Shadow Priest Rogue. Yeah, just like most rogue DPS team, I would focus on the rogue right at the start to make them go defensive. This team here is particularly good. Notice that I will shockwave the rogue and the priest is already healing him at 80% HP. So they know exactly what's coming and how to keep themselves alive. Once the burst opener is over, I just switch back to the priest and could just train down the priest. Well, now this team decided to give up on me and trying to kill my paladin. It's best to just stick on the priest in this scenario and just assist your paladin with a intervene and disarm and spam spell reflect as much as you can. I intervened my paladin here, but it wasn't really needed. This is another priest mage fight, and it's a different team and they're higher rated, they're quite a bit better. This is a pretty good map for them, so they focus on my paladin again. This moment here I thought my paladin would be able to dispel me, but I had about 3 debuff on me, so I really should have trinketed to help my paladin early rather than sit on the CC for the full 10 seconds, so it's pretty stupid of me. So we're using same strategy as before, which is pretty much focus on the mage and interrupt, stun and limit their DPS on my paladin. while the mage still has his cooldowns up, like his water elemental and mirror image. I switched to the priest here because I thought I might be able to get him down if the mage focus on me and forgets to CC. I still had last stand and shield wall, so I thought I was pretty safe. But I think that was a pretty big mistake. If I were to do it again, I would stay on the mage because the mage have the mirror image up and my paladin is pretty much bagging me over the vent to switch back to the mage so I don't die. So yeah, my last stand is probably used where it didn't really need to be used, but I was quite obsessed with getting the priest down because I really hate playing a long game. Got pretty close here towards the end, and their priests were running out of mana while this mage ice blocked and the priest was drinking. I didn't have enough rage to shatter this mage straight away, and when I did have enough rage for shatter, it was only about 1 second left to the ice block, so really didn't need to do it anyway. And when the mage popped his elemental here and blinked out of the way, I thought I will give this pet quickly, but it took me longer than expected because the priest was healing it, and it kind of leave me too vulnerable against the mage, and he got me pretty damn low, and we were kind of in trouble here because I didn't have any last stand or shield wall left. Now, this is probably the worst combination that I can think of to fight, because we played some games against these guys and games would last half an hour plus, and in the past sometimes we see Warlock out and we just leave because we don't play a really long game. I'm sure these guys hate playing us just as much as we hate playing them, because it's really hard for them to get a kill on us and it's really hard for us to get a kill on them. If the paladin was holy, we can probably out-mana them, but most warlock paladin things always have a Prot paladin, so they have unlimited mana. So our strategy for this team is pretty much try to get the paladin to blow his cooldowns, get the warlock to about 50% HP, and then fear the paladin if possible. They'll probably force him to trinket. And if the pet is Spellhunter, I would switch to the pet a lot and try to burst it down. You can burst it down by like full stun concussion blow on the warlock so he doesn't use health funnel on it, and then just charge into shape, shockwave, and whatever. Prot paladins are actually really easy to kill because they have to cast to heal. And I made the switch here with my pally and I thought we might be able to kill him, but it didn't work, so switch back to the warlock and try again next time. I don't actually have complete footage of this fight because I stopped it thinking it was gonna last for half an hour. Then I started recording again at this moment because I thought we will kill the paladin, and we did. At this moment we were just capitalizing on our enemy mistake because the warlock managed to fear himself like 50 yards away through his spell reflect, and when he came back he death called himself. So we were really happy about this win. It's best to Q dodged him. This wasn't actually a long fight, it only lasted 6 minutes here, so we're actually surprised ourselves that we won. This is a fight again against low rated team, and I'm just using this as a perfect example of how we deal with resto druids. If your gear is good enough, you should be able to stun lock a druid from 100 to 0 all on your own. So I popped recklessness here at the beginning since the druid didn't have any hots on himself, and shield bash followed by concussion blow followed by shockwave, and you can follow that with another shield bash and a heroic throw as well. If it doesn't work, just stay on the DPS until you have all your cooldowns back up. So you will need your shield block for double block damage, and concussion blow and shockwave, charge and shield bash all on cooldown before you switch to the druid. Also take note whether the druid have any hots or not. You can still kill him even if he has about 2 hots. So the druid survived earlier because he used his PvP trinket and also used bark skin. So you really want to do this as soon as your cooldowns are up, so you can beat their PvP trinket timer or their bark skin as well. I used my concussion blow earlier on the warlock, which I shouldn't have, so I have to wait another 30 seconds until I can switch back to the druid. So the moment's about to come up in about 3 seconds, and the time is right. All cooldowns are up, the druid is in caster form with no hots. So I switched to druid, shield block, shield bash, concussion blow, and shockwave, and the druid is dead already. And I still had a heroic throw, and that's how you deal with druids. Notice I didn't get any DPS help at all from the my paladin. For druid to survive this combo without their PvP trinkets, their 2v2 partner will have to assist them. Now this is a fight against a really high rated team. I think they're number 5 in our BG, and they're a really good team. They got a druid and DK. So our strategy is pretty much as I explained before. Switch to the druid and we do the combos on them. But this druid is really good and he's really slippery. He managed to get away from me for my opener, probably because he didn't have hammer Judgment of Justice. So we pretty much have to rinse and repeat this process again. So I switched to a DK to keep the pressure up, and DPS whoever doesn't have hots, and wait until my cooldowns are up to before I switch back to the druid. This druid was actually really good and really annoying because he knows when to use his cooldown to survive my burst. He managed to survive this one by using his PvP trinket. As I was switching away from him, I noticed he popped Nature's Grasp, so I turned back and spell reflected Nature's Grasp just so it doesn't annoy me later, and it reflected the Icy Chain at the same time, which was pretty cool. I'm not switching as often as I would have, like the DK has a lot of hots, yes I'm still on him. I kind of want to give the druid a false sense of security, so he'll come out with no hots on himself. Most DKs, they don't wear weapon chains, so it's basically, don't forget to disarm to help your pally. It's a good 10-second disarm on any DK, which should help to prevent their burst quite a lot. Getting ready to switch again to the druid with full cooldown, and it doesn't work well because the druid had bark skin and probably improved bark skin as well from the glyph, which prevented the crits. So I didn't get a single crit off this druid, and he just survived the full combo without a trinket. So to counter this, I really need to switch a lot faster and beat the bark skin cooldown. This bit here got a little bit hairy because I got pretty low and almost died. Luckily I spell reflect the cyclone. I have to say I was playing pretty bad. I had disarm cooldown and I was too lazy to switch stance and disarm the DK. I think those cyclones were intended for my pally, but due to the protection talent, I can spell reflect for my pally because he's nearby. So I made a switch with a druid here with concussion blow, and it would have killed him if he didn't PvP trinket out of it. So I keep the momentum going, I keep switching with cooldowns. It's really hard for the druid to heal this, and you see him running out of mana quite quickly. But again, he has Baskin when I switched to him and I couldn't crit him, so he survived yet again. So I need to do faster switching, really something I need to work on. I know we can do a lot better. I switch again to druid with my cooldown out this time, but unfortunately the druid gets away and gets a couple of heal off because he didn't have any judgment of justice off. It's quite hard to get the concussion blow straight after the shield bash. Try to get spell reflect up when you switch to druid, because DK will often try to death grip you. If you spell reflect there, he will jump towards you instead. I really regretted this bit here because I didn't expect to reflect this cyclone, and I went to fear the druid, so it was kind of wasted. If I were to fear the druid straight after the cyclone, I think we would have killed the DK right here because he has no hearts on and the druid don't have any trinket. So we just have to move on from that, just keep the momentum going, keep switching to the druid. Notice every time I switch to the druid, piling would give me freedom, so I'm able to follow the druid without being peeled from the DK. Well, towards the end here, the druid makes a mistake of being too aggressive and not putting enough hearts onto the DK. I managed to spell reflect a cyclone and dispel a rejuvenation with shield slam, and the druid cyclone himself with a DK at 50% HP. So it was an easy kills from here. Got a couple of crits and a concussion blow. It's not normal that we kill the DK against this comp, and you'll notice at the stat towards the end that I did a lot more damage than the DK.